Fatima. Today I want to do a different kind of a video, and this video is for some of us that don't have a lot of money to buy challenges all the time, and that we have a lot of debt and we just cannot buy. I mean, we can buy a little bit of challenges, but we can't always be buying. I have some great ideas where we can make our own challenges from home, from things that we can reuse from our house. So this is just an idea that I came up with for those of us that instead of saying, well, I don't have enough money to buy challenges, what I'm not going to save. So I'm just wanting to show you guys that anyone can save, even if it's from things from our home or things from our dollar store. So I'm going to show you some games that we can play at home and have fun with a little or no cost to you. Okay, so guys, this is what I am going to start with. For example, I bought this jar. And this jar, it was, let me see if you guys can see the jar. Let me put this up. And I bought this jar, guys. I don't really want to move too much. I bought this jar, and this jar cost me $4. But we could use a jar from the house. If you don't have $4 and you rather use those $4 to stuff your jar with, you can get a jar from your house. Any jar that you have, big or small, whatever you want to do. And then you can get some, let's say, whenever you have a couple of dollars, you go to the dollar store and you can buy some stickers, and you can start decorating little by little, or every month, a couple of stickers from the dollar store, and you can just stick on your jar to make it look pretty. Another way is for you to save. What you can do is you can, for example, let's say you go to the store and you have $10 left over. So with those $10, what I will show you what you can do is automatically you can just get the $10 and you can just put it in your jar and stuff your jar with the $10. Next time you go put gas, let's say that either the gas is cheaper, or let's say you decided if it was normally your card took $30 and you put 28, just take the $2 and you can just stuff your jar with extra $2. Every time you go and do something, if you have $1 or $2 or even cents left over, I will show you what you're going to do with your cents, and you can stuff your jar. Another way you can play with your jar to make it fun for you to save is by rolling the dice. And in this case, it would be $3. So I would get $3, and from the money that I have here, and I would stuff my jar with $3. And you can, let's say you have $20 or $30 and you want to divide it between different challenges. Well, then you just see how much you can do. If you want to try another time, it would be $11. So you would already have $14 in your jar to save. That's one of the challenges that you can do with 2 dice and a jar that you can start out with. You can even decorate it or not decorate it, whatever you want to do, whatever it makes you feel happy. If it makes you feel happy, then to decorate it with stickers. Well, you can get stickers from wherever you can get it. Even sometimes your kids have stickers or whatever you have, you can just stick it on your jar to make it look really, really pretty. So that's one way to save, that whenever you have an extra 5, an extra 10, just stuff it in there. And don't, if you don't want to know how much it's in there, just stuff it and forget about it. And by the time you know it, when this is full, you've already got over $400 or $500 or more. Another way to play another game would be, I love candle jars, guys, and I love to get these from Bath and Body or from Victoria's Secret. You can get some really nice candles, and I, didn't want to just throw away the the jar after I got done using the candle. I could use this jar for also for stuffing. For example, in this case, let's say we had 6 and 4 is $10. Let's say that these are $10, even though it's 7, but let's say it's $10. You get this and you put it in there, and then you put the money in your jar, close your jar. Next time you have, let's say, 2 challenges, and you want to divide the money between 2 challenges, you could either use one dice or 2 dice, and then you would just roll the dice and fill what the dice says inside your jar. That's another fun game that you can do to be able to, to save some money and not have to buy a lot of challenges if you can't buy them. This is a really great way to save, and this is a reused candle jar. So this would not cost anything to you because the candle, you've already used it. Another way that we can play would be, let's say you have 2 candle jars. Okay, so I have 2. I have this one, and then I have this one. And they're pretty. I like them. And I like the way this one here is decorated. So what I did was I got some little pieces of paper, and I wrote any number down. For the example, this one here would be $12. So if you pick $12, you would get, let's just say you pick one of these little papers, and it says $11. You can make it from 1 to 10, from 1 to 20, whatever you want to do. And then, in other words, it's $11. So what you would do is once you pick, and whatever it says for you to do, in this case was 11. Let's say I had $11. I would get the $11 and I would put it into the other jar. And then next time, if you can do it 2 or 3 times, instead of using the dice, you can use little scraps of paper if you don't have dice to play with. That's another fun way to do your challenge. Another way that you can do is all the time that you go to the store or you buy anything, and let's say that you have extra change. And some people that don't budget just automatically leave it in their wallet. What I would do is, again, another beautiful candle jar. I would clean the candle jar, and then every time I would have extra money, instead of, keeping track of it, all you would do is, let's say that this was inside my wallet. I would get it and I would just stuff it in my jar, and by the time you know it, this jar would be full of money. That's another way that you can save your change. If you don't want to use it into other challenges, a nice, easy way to do it would be reuse a jar, reuse a candle jar, reuse a box that you can, small box. That's another great way to save. Another great way to save would be, let's do this. Okay, I got this this box here, and this box, I got this for $1.25. I had some, from Christmas, I had some of the glitter strips, and I had a couple of flowers, and I just decorated my box, a simple way to decorate it. And then I have the lid, and this just cost me $1.25. And then I bought these at the dollar store, but I had used them in other folders of mine. So this really, after I used them in my other folders, this was extras that was no cost that I had to go buy, and just kind of decorate your box to make it look nice. And another way that you would do would be, let's say, let me get this. I think I left the money in here. Yeah, I wanted to show you. I'm reusing the money all the time to be able to show you guys what I would do. Another way to do it would be, let's say you have $30 and you want to, use it between your challenges, and you just want to have fun doing different kinds of challenges. This only cost me, this deck of cards, only cost me $1.25. What you would do is you would shuffle them, and then you would pick the top card. The top card says 7. So I would get 5, 6, and 7, and I would just put it into my box. But once you put the money there, do not touch it, because sometimes we need something, or we say, oh, I have the money here. Me, with my challenges, the way it works for me is that the money that I have for saving, I do not touch it. I act like I don't have it, and that's the way to build up your money, by always thinking that you don't have the money. So let's say I want to go again. So I already have $7 in here. So let's just say I had 7, which is these. I have 7, and I would have it in there. Again, would be number 8. So I did again, and I got another card for it was number 8. Let's say that this is $8. I would get the 8 and the 7, and I would put that money in there, and 8 plus 7, it's 15. So $15, I would already have $15 in here. And that's a great way. I only bought this deck of cards for $1.25 at the dollar store. So that's another way, guys, that you can have fun, do some challenges without always buying. Because, guys, some of us cannot afford to be buying all the time, depending on how much debt you have. Because if, you can help out and buy from the Etsy, and that is great, and I do that too, but I can't always be buying. That is something that I cannot do, because I have a lot of debt, and sometimes $30, $40, it helps me get ahead in my challenges to be able to pay my debt off. So that would be one of the ideas. Another idea that you can do is at Christmas time, I got this cans, and we all have like little cans and things around our home. This was given to me with cookies inside. So what I would do in this case would be, I would reuse this can, and what I would do is I would go to the dollar store, and I would get an envelope. Let's say envelopes, and then let's say that today I had $7. So with this $7 that I had left over, automatically I would get my my envelope, and I would put $7. That way instead of picking an envelope and having $10 or $20 and you don't have that amount to save, what I would do is I would check my money, how much money I have first, and then I would just stuff it inside my envelope, which you would buy, I don't know, maybe close to 100 envelopes for $1.25, and I would just stuff it into, which this is a bigger envelope, but you would get the smaller envelopes that would fit inside your can, and then you would just stuff it there. Next time, let's say you had $8 that was left over from that. Let's say you went grocery shopping and you had left $8. Let's say that this was $8. You would stuff your $8, and then you would get your a marker, and then you would mark $8, and then you would have another $8. So then you would every time you had extra, even if it's $2, if it's $1, if it's $5, you would just stuff it, and then you would close your can, and this would be where you would hold your challenge. So guys, it's different ways that we can budget, that we can have fun saving. Even if you don't have a budgeting channel, that is okay. But the important thing is that you save. And even if it's cents, dollars, $5, the important thing is to have a place to put them in. And once you stuff it in there, do not touch the money. Another great way that you can do is you can go to Amazon, and you could buy a book like this. It would cost you, let's say, $5, $6. And they're not too much more than $5, $6. Well, guys, there's a lot of challenges in here. A lot of challenges. There's a lot. I love the books because there's a lot of challenges. Now, with some of these challenges, if it's too much, let's say $16 or $18 is too much for you, I would just do half, and it would be $9. And then you don't have to, because some of these, for some of us, some of these challenges are a little bit steep. But you could always do half, or you can divide it in 3 ways and just stuff every time you have money. You would stuff it. Once you were done with all of this challenge, you would have $351 already saved. And it's a fun way to see. I like to see my challenges. I like to see how many challenges I've accomplished throughout the year. And I like doing it that way. So guys, if I can't, like on this case, if I can't, these are already paid. I've already got the money paid for these, and these are the ones that I still have to pay. If I can't do one, I'll do half. And if I can do two, then I'll do two. And if I can only do one, then I pay just the $17. Also, if you don't have the money to buy your binders, and say you're someone that is in a strict budget and you just don't have the money to spend on a folder. So what I would do is I would get either a can like this or a box like this, and then I would just stuff my money for my challenge in there. You don't have to have any fancy equipment or fancy binders or fancy anything to be able to budget or to save. You don't have to do that. And if I did not have a binder, I would get my $17 and I would stuff it into my box or into my can. That's the important thing, is that you have something to save that money on. So that is a few ideas that you can do if you don't have the money to be able to stuff. Now we're going to be talking about let's see, when you want to plan out your budget and see if you can cut corners and buy a book like this. You don't have to buy something like this, which is a planner. This planner that I bought from Amazon, it was a little over $5, so it's not too bad, honestly. But then this beautiful book that I have here, I got this at the dollar store. You can get a lot of things, really beautiful things at the dollar store. What I do with this book is I plan out my budgets. I like to see it on paper. I like to decorate it. I like to just play around with my budget. And once I am done, I know, for example, I know what my husband gets twice a month, some money from Workman's Comp. And usually he gives it to us for me to budget. So what I do is I add everything that I have to do, if I want to do it, into my vacation or into my sinking funds. And what I do is I plan everything out to know how much money I am going to put on that. Instead of buying something expensive, instead of buying something for $5, if I can't afford the $5, I can certainly afford $1.25, and then I will get this. And then you can budget. You can budget, and you can see what you're going to buy, what you're going to do, how your budget goes. And once I am done stuffing my, let's say if I don't have a envelope, I would have my box or my can, and I would put the envelopes. You could even use, if, for example, these envelopes, and you can put, this envelope will be for my car insurance or for my Costco or for my anniversary, and you can get it, and you can, if you don't have the envelopes or you can't afford to get a binder, you would just write it, what your sinking fund is, or what your vacation or whatever you want to do, and you would just put it inside your can, and then you would just save it. It's an easy way, cheap way to reuse things and to not to spend a lot of money. That's another way to do that. Another way that I can show you that I do, and it works very, very well for me, it's when I am done with one challenge. Let's say that I am done with this challenge. I had over here, let's say $300. What I would do is I would get the $300, and what I do is I'm able to stuff it into a bigger challenge. And even if I do one or two, but then I would either do another challenges and then stuff your bigger challenges. It's going to take, or when you have a little bit extra money that you want to put into a bigger challenge, then I would put it into a bigger challenge. You could also do bigger challenges, but you don't have to pay the full number. You could do it in 3 or 4 payments, divide the 170 into 4 payments, and then you would see how much money you would stuff at the end of you completing this whole challenge and have smaller challenges come into this one. You would have $5,000. Guys, there's so many ways to do things to be able to get ahead with just a little bit of money. Sometimes you might say, well, in this week, I'm not going to go eat out. And the money that you're going to save from this week that you didn't go out, you could stuff your jar, or you can do different challenges. Guys, it's easy to save. All it is takes a little bit of willpower for us to be able to save. You can save as much as $1 or cents, and as little, I meant to say as little as $1 or cents, and as big as $10 or $20. And at the end of a month, you already have quite a bit saved. So guys, these are kind of ideas that you can do. Another idea that I was doing too, but then it didn't really work out for me because of the fact, it does work out, but the fact that you could also have a piggy bank, and you can glue it at the bottom, and that way you don't open it up, but it has to be a lot bigger than this, because this one here, I found it after a while. I was putting 20s and 10s and 5s and dollars into that, and at the end of that, that it wasn't even all the way full. It got to a point where the head was taking all the money and the body wasn't getting any, and I could not push it down. And this was at the bottom, it was glued in so that I wouldn't open it or touch it if I needed it. And I glued it so nobody would touch it. And then I couldn't open it up to pull down the money to have it on the body. But you could start out with a piggy bank, but it would have to be bigger piggy bank where you can just stuff and it would fall down to the bottom. This one here really did not work good for me, but they say that elephants bring you good luck and bring you money. And if that is right, I have one here in my desk. And guys, these are ideas that I'm giving you guys, that it's cheap, easy ideas that anyone can use. Or you can do half and half. You can do buy challenges, but then you can also do some of these smaller challenges that you, like I said, that you can do easy challenges. And really, really, I love the dice game where I would pick a jar or a box, and I would just in this case would be 7. I would get the $7 and I would stuff it in there. So guys, it's so easy to save. If you really want to save, you can do it. So guys, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to show a lot of us, we can afford to buy challenges, but then some of us, we cannot, or we can buy just a little and cannot buy so many. So, but guys, there's different ways that you can do things that with no cost or a little cost to you, you can have fun saving. So guys, we'll see you guys on my next video. So goodbye.